Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world. Habari za asubuhi, habari za mchana, habari za jioni, brothers and sisters all over the world. And yes, I am talking to each and every one of you all over the world. The name of this channel is The African Times, and my name is Thomas. Welcome to the Rise and Shine. All right, how you doing, everybody? All right, this is one of the broadcasts that I was telling you about, the Rise and Shine. It's morning time for me. I'm up, ready to rise and shine. Before I get started in this broadcast, I want to thank the brothers and sisters, all of you who are watching and supporting the program, the broadcast. Greatly appreciated. It's greatly needed. We are one, and we will always be one, and we always have been one, and we will not allow anything to come between that. So I want to thank you all for supporting, and we're getting close to a threshold. I'll be telling you guys about it coming up. We're getting close to a landmark in this process, so appreciate all of your support. All right, in today's broadcast of the Rise and Shine, a morning broadcast for you, my brothers and sisters in all over the world. Especially, I want to tell you, I was surprised. I got a lot of viewership in the UK, so I appreciate you, brothers and sisters out there. A lot of viewership in the US, America, and in the good motherland country, Tanzania, and other places. So to all of you, even though I'm just mentioning those, Canada showed up as well, so I appreciate you. The Virgin Islands, you know, anywhere, any place where there are brothers and sisters. Sante Sana. Sante Sana. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So in this broadcast, we're going to talk about unity. Unity. What it is, and you know, how it affects us as brothers and sisters, and why it's important. And really, what is unity? Because is unity all we need? Is unity the end all, the be all end all to solving our problems? So we're going to look in that today. All right, so join in. Let's take a look at unity and what we need to do to solve our problems. Solutions. And our problem, pretty much, we're going to have to talk about economics and unity and how it works together. So let's get started. I can see you when I put these on. All right, can you see me? All right. Okay, so first you know, when I was coming up, we had a lot of talk. Everybody was talking about unity. Unity. We need unity. Unity. And we do. We do. On the surface, we do. We need unity. But we're going to look closely at that, because if that's what we need, like many of the other things that we have a lot of people telling us about, if that's what we need, and we've been dealing with this situation and these people for thousands of years, and since the whole economic system of enslavement was imposed on us by these people, we've been trying to get unity, and apparently that's not solving our problem. And I'll explain more about that later. So let's get into it. So what is unity? What is it? On the surface, you know, unity is many things, you know. like I said, on the surface, it's like it's many things coming together to form one thing. You know, so you have many things. You got two cars, two trucks, what have you. They come together to form. If you had a transportation company, you take the cars, you take the trucks. Those things individually, they're individual units. And then when you put them together, you make a new thing, a company. All right, so when you take a deeper and closer look, what you really see when you talk about unity is you're talking about many individual units joining to form one large single unit through unity. Okay, so when we think about that in terms of machines or businesses or any endeavor, organizations, you got a lot of individual single units, and what those that come together, and what those units are called, it doesn't really matter. It could be 10 pencils to make a pack of pencils. It could be 4 teaspoons of sugar that make a packet of sugar for your coffee. It doesn't matter. There are individual units that come together to make a new thing. Okay, so what you really have with unity is through single and multi-unit unification, you develop or create a new thing. It's like I was explaining. If you have the parts of a bicycle, you got the tire, the handlebars, the wheels, the chain. Each one of those individual units by themselves don't make the bicycle. But when you assemble them all together, then you have a new thing. You have a bicycle. Before you had just the individual units, the chain, the seat, the tire, what have you. Individually, those are separate units. And when you combine them again, you have a new thing. So once you have this new thing, this is a tangible, concrete, solid entity, a unit. Hence, unity. Unity. All of the separate things coming together. Unity. Now, here's where you have to make a distinction, though, between achieving unity and being united. And this is a very important distinction to make, because, remember, I just told you, we've been dealing with this problem. We've been dealing with this problem for a number of centuries. And we all are units. Like, I'm a unit. I'm a man. I'm sitting here. I'm a unit. Somebody over there, next door neighbor, unit. Unit. And unit only means something, some item, okay? So let me give you an example of the difference between unity. Let's look at close. Unity, okay? So unity is different than being united. It's totally different. Unity, when you have unity, it's static. It's dormant, meaning it's just there. So let me give you an example to make it more concrete to you. So let's say you have a car, right? One car. The whole car is one unit. It's one unit. All right. Now, the car is made up of many individual units, just like the bike I told you. So with the car, you have the muffler, you have the wheels, you have the engine, right? As an example. But those things by themselves, they don't make a car. It's not a car. Those are individual units, all right? Now, the combining of these things, that's what makes the new thing, the car. When you put the muffler together, and you put the tires together, and then you put the engine, and you put the transmission, and then you get the roof, and all of those things are separate individual things with their own unit identification and purpose, right? When you assemble them together, the different parts. Then you get a new thing. You get a new thing. You get a car. All right. So this is really critical to understand, because without the unification of all the individual parts, you don't have a car. You got all these parts though, but you don't have a car. So this is a critical part that must be understood by us as African brothers and sisters. It's critical because now we're going to take that example of the car and we're going to relate that to us as people. Because remember, we've been told we got to seek unity. We got to be united. Now, we're saying two things, unity and united. Achieving unity by itself is not enough. That's only the beginning. Remember the example of the car? The car exists because of the unification of all the car parts. The car is a new item resulting from bringing the car parts together. Now you have the car, a new thing. But that car cannot drive itself. You have unity of the parts. You have that. And unity has been achieved. But the car cannot drive itself. The car and the parts together make the new thing, the car. But remember, the car can't drive itself. The car is not united. It's a unit comprising all these different parts. Now, you could have 1,000,000 cars in a row, but they're not united. No, you just got a car here, a car there, a car here. They are a useless pile of material that has no value or benefit to anyone. That's all you have. You got units. And you have unity, all of them in the parking lot together. But no benefit to anyone. The only way you can get benefit to somebody, you have to have the people, the individual, united. The driver has to be united with the vehicle. See, the vehicles sitting there by themselves, they're just potential power. They're not moving. You have units there, and you got a bunch of them. So 1,000,000 cars in a parking lot, you have unity. The unity of all the cars together in the parking lot. That has potential power, but the power must be activated by the driver. The driver must unite his power, his manual or mechanical power, with the car's potential power. And that's the situation that we're in as African people. We've been focused on unity. They tell us be unity, get it. We got unity. Listen, what this means is that achieving unity in and of itself is useless unless the individual units, us individual people, that are united into a group organism, a group of individuals. We are united by an individual unit or group of units for the purpose of harnessing and activating the potential power of the unified organism or group. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that individuals or groups of individuals by themselves have unity because they're human beings. They're in a group over there. They unity, you know, NAACP. Okay? They're a unit. But are they united? And that's where we're going to dig in, because again, a person, a group of people, a group of cars, that's a unit, but no action. No action. That means when a group of individuals, individual units, and this is what we're talking about. Here's the united part. The group of individuals who are united that means they have an action that they're about to embark upon. They're going to take an action because they're united. United people act with the purpose of harnessing the potential power that they have as a unit. Okay? So that means when a group of individual units, express a desire or willingness to unite, to have unity. When they unite and become a unit, they have manifested their physical energy, their physical potential power. They created a potential unit of power. But that potential power source is dormant until the individual unit, a person, or a group of people, a united group. Remember, united, not a unit, but a united group. Once they make the decision to take that next step of power development by uniting the individuals and the group units, in other words, once they become united, they have intentionality and purpose. You understand? That means that they have some goal, some idea, some thing that they're trying to achieve. So what I'm saying to you is becoming united means having a united purpose, a group purpose, and the intentionality to take some action, to utilize the available potential power of the group. So if you have a unit, a million people, a million men, that's nothing. It's nothing. They're not doing it. It's just a million men in the same spot. And we've had that situation. Remember all of the marches? Got one many years ago, Million Man March, as an example. Million men in one place. That's a unit. They have unity. They're there. They all came. They're there. They weren't united. They weren't united because they didn't have a common purpose for action and the intentionality to carry out those actions. And that's where we're talking about the difference between unity and being united. Remember, united means having a united purpose, a group of people, and having the intentionality to take some action, to utilize the available potential power of the group. Now, it's at this point, and for this reason, that those in power continuously create and erect barriers to the full development of us, as individuals. They erect barriers and they create problems so that the full development of our individuals and groups can't take place. They can't take place. They do not want us to become united. They're okay with you becoming a unit. Yeah, a million men, y'all get together. Go ahead, do your thing. A million women. Do whatever you want to do. Be a unit. But don't become united. Which means don't take any action. That's why they don't have a problem with assembly. They'll tell you all day long, you have the right to assemble. But what they don't want you to have is the right to take action. And that's being united. Unity, we can get together, dormant potential power. That's unity. It's a unit. It's a thing. It's a bunch of them coming together in one space. Remember I told you, all those cars in the parking lot, a million cars, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, whoever, BMW, whatever, Mercedes, it doesn't matter. They got a bunch of cars sitting in the parking lot, but those cars can't drive themselves. Those cars are units assembled, so they have unity. You need now to be united. You have to have the object united with the power source. Now you have action. There must be a driver to drive the units. Okay? And you hear that talk in intellectual IT, or what is the driver? What is motivating the action? This is what they're talking about. You have to have that. Now, so we understand now that a unit, me, I'm a unit, you You're a unit. And all your friends, we're all units. When we gather in a place, let's say you all go to church. Okay, go to the church. Now, you have unity. Everybody arrived at the church. Now, you notice at the end of that service, everybody leaves. But the condition of the brothers and sisters in the neighborhoods around the church, because you were all in a unit at the church, didn't change that position. Where I'm from, you got many of the churches, big, beautiful churches, wonderful, wonderful buildings, architectural magnificence. It's just beautiful. And you drive down the street, around the corner, around the block, and our good brothers and sisters that I love, they're living in squalor, struggling. Kids walking down the street in front of dilapidated buildings and all that, because the W's, they're not going to invest economically in building you new homes. They're going to tell you rehab the old one, 100-year-old homes, fix it up, make it look better. But in their neighborhoods, they're building brand new homes, subdivisions. So again, us brothers and sisters on Sunday, we gathered in there and we're a unit, but we're not unified because we come out of there, we have no purpose for being a unit, with no intentionality of what we're going to do as a unit. And so we spend decade after decade, century after century after century, searching and focused on unity. No action. So now let's look. Now we understand unity now again, a bunch of people together, a bunch of cars, whatever, organized into a group, a unit. But that unit by itself can't do anything unless there's some purpose and intentional action, and that's being united. So what does it mean to be united? All right, let's look at it. What does it mean to be united? And I hope you follow me. You got to listen to what I'm saying. You got to pay attention, because sometimes it can get a little academic, and I keep telling you, I hate that we have to do that, but we got to get some things clear, because when we're repeating the same thing over and over again, and we're getting the same results, and we think it's okay to continue to do that, you can do that until you die. Let me tell you something. There's a story that they talk about when I was when you know, you talk to people who are military people, friends, they tell you things. And one of the things that they told me was these people, they would take a frog, and they put the frog, they take some water on a pot on the stove and boil it. And they drop the frog in it. And the frog would jump out, because they got webs on their feet. So as soon as the frog hit the water, it's hot, it's burning up, the frog kind of leap out. And it's just a story. I don't know if it's true or not. I didn't do it. But this is kind of the example they give you. And so the frog would jump out. So then what they said, in order to kill the frog during the experiment, they took the pot, put it on the stove, and they didn't turn it on. Then they put the frog in the water, and the water was cool. So the frog stayed in the water, you know, relaxing. Then they turned the heat up on the stove, gradually. And so they kept turning the heat up gradually, until it started boiling again. And the frog, because it was gradual, stayed in the pot until it boiled to death, because they did it gradually. All right. And this is kind of the situation we find ourselves in as brothers and sisters. They got us in a situation where distractions take our identity, tell us other stuff. We don't know who we are, remove your natural mind. And then they boil you slowly. All of these things come together. They boil you slowly until you boil to death. Okay. So unity by itself is like us sitting in a pot. We're all together. We have unity in that pot. But that pot is boiling. And it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And then eventually we're going to boil to death. Now, you remember in the 60s. Remember the 60s? They had everybody in that pot boiling. People got tired of it. And then they erupt. They blow up. Now, these people are used to that. That's the same thing now. We're boiling to the point where you get so hot, everybody start trying to, and you got to do something about it. These people had that same thing happen to them. You know, they tell you the story about the French people. I think it's French. And by the way, my people in France, I love you. I love you. So please understand what I'm saying here. I'm talking about the history that these people tell us about. I wasn't there. You weren't there. But they write these things in their books. And as I explained to you earlier, in those books, we have to question everything. You got to kind of compare, contrast to see what the real truth is. Because we know they want to glorify history and you know, kind of mystify it and add a bunch of mythology to it to make themselves look always righteous. So all of my people there, I'm not saying anything bad about you, but because I love you. But, you know, they tell the story about the lady who, or the man, I think it was a lady, you know, let them eat cake lady. Then whatever royalty, they cut the person's head off or whatever because the people were struggling and all that. So these people have a history of these kind of things where the people have to rise up and you know, fight for their rights and things of that nature in their system. So I'm telling you that as a unit, we all are units already, naturally. We all are human beings. We all are, you know, a unit of human beings. But they got us stuck there, not going forward. We have to be united. And united, inherent in being united is you're uniting for a purpose. You're uniting to achieve some goal. So you have intentionality. All right? All right, so what does it mean to be united? We already know having unity or being a unit of people in and of itself has no benefit to anyone. Like I told you about the cars, you can have boats and planes, and you can even have weapons. They're useless unless somebody has, you know, united with them, with the weapons, with the cars, with the boats, with the planes. You got to have somebody united with that object with purpose to use the object, and with the intentionality to carry out that action. All right? So, as I said, even weapons are useless until they're united with individuals or groups who have purpose and the intentionality to use them. Okay? All right, so what does that, so what does it mean to be united? It simply means a group action, united individuals or groups with common purpose and intentionality. Yeah, united. You're not uniting just to sit down and look at TV. That's a unit. The people playing the game, the football players, they're united. They're united, and their purpose is to win the game. Their purpose is to play the game. They have intentionality, action, to go through whatever it takes to get to the outcome that they want, and that is to win the game, okay? So what this means, and this is a major problem we face as brothers and sisters dealing with this issue. We face with the W's. We are stuck at, and they help to keep us focused on and stuck on obtaining unity. We already have unity. There's only one black people, and we know who they are. They look like you and me. And everybody else knows there's only one black people. They're not confused. They know that. They just convince us that it's not just one black people, it's something else. So how is this true? How do we know that this is true? Okay, check this out. Any black person who mates with others, another group, another race, whatever they call it, race. I don't really like that term, but that's another group, another ethnicity, you know, people that don't look like us. When you mate with them, you know, what happens? you see the black features in the offspring. You see the black features in the child. Everybody sees it. We all see it. Because we're one people. And so when you know what they tell us in America, if you get one drop of blood rule, you know, you get one drop of blood, that means you're black. You could take a white person, a black person, y'all made them. And when the person comes out, the child, you say, oh, they're black. Now, we loving people, African people, loving people, caring people, people who just want to live and be happy and don't want to bother them, peaceful people. So when the mixture of the two come about, we embrace them, we love them, we don't have no problem with them. As long as they don't create no problem for us, we don't have a problem with them. But the W's, see, the W's have a type of culture and pride where they will tell you to your face, even if you have a W mother or a W father, they'll tell you to your face, hey, you got that drop of blood in you, you're not us, you're contaminated. That's what they're telling you. So when they tell you that, you understand, again, we are one people, and everybody knows that. They see that. We don't see it because we've allowed some people to confuse us. So again, when you have a child mixed with something, you look at them and then you know black. And remember, black is not just the color. No, black is the identity associated with a group of people, a unit of people, a big unit of people. 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion, whatever they say the amount is, but there's a unit of people there. Okay, so you see the black features in the child. Now these features are the features of the group or the unit, us. Group identity, a unit. We got physical characteristics, social characteristics, behavior. You know, those things are easily identifiable. So we have unity. It's there. You know, now, the other thing is that we already have unity given to us by nature. You know, we have it. It's there. We are a unified group of people that are easily identifiable by our common features. What? Our color, obviously. I'm here. I'm looking around. I see all people that look like me in various shades, but the vast majority are dark, black, beautiful people. Beautiful. Skin spectacular. Look beautiful. Just beautiful people. Now, our hair, nose, lips, eyes, body, sisters, body, endowed with the most beautiful figures in the world. Everybody wants that, even to the point to where, now that they imitate us by. They try to roll out these people, these W's, these women, and they try to find the ones that have features similar to our sisters, and then they try to promote them as the epitome of beauty instead of telling the truth. That, yes, the African people, the most beautiful people on the planet. And there's nothing wrong for me loving that. I'm entitled to my opinion, all right? Okay, all right. So, again, naturally, we all are units. We have unity. We're the same group of people. Naturally, you can't change that. You can let the people mind trick you and do the things that they do, but no, we're all the same people. Your hair is like mine, and even if there's some variation, that happens. That's normal. Everybody isn't exactly the same, but generally, you see all the people in the same area, and you see the same common features, just like the Chinese people, the Indian people, the W's, the different, the Arabic people or whatever. You know, they all have characteristics, and they all generally centrally located in one area. It's not confusing unless you let them confuse you. All right, so we already have unity naturally, you know. Now, it's reported that there are over 1 billion Africans in the motherland. And, you know, I've heard anything of 1.2, 1.3, you know. But you got to be careful because the people's reports, when we get them, they kind of alter them to fit whatever they're trying to do. So, but let's just assume that there's 1 billion people here. That's a unit. But not unified. No common purpose. No common intentionality. Okay? All right. So there's a brother, his name is Sheikh Anta Diop. So Sheikh Anta Diop, I'm not really sure. But he's got video out. You guys should check it out. It's old video. And he kind of tells you the origins of man, and he breaks down different types of men. He says it's really only like they're really only like, I think 5, 6, 7 types of people. I think 7 of 8, and then 4 have disappeared from the planet, leaving maybe 4 types of individuals, people left. Because, you know, even if you say we're a unit of human beings, like all the different people of the world. Hold on one second, everybody. I need you guys. Hey, I know. Leave that alone for a second. Go ahead, leave that alone. Hey, listen to me. Leave that alone. Yeah, I know. So leave that alone. And Fundi going to fix it. Yep, the Fundi is going to fix it. So do me a favor. Hey, listen. Lenore, take Thomas in the house. Go in the back. Y'all go in the back right now. Play back there because I want to finish what I'm doing. Go ahead, go now. Appreciate it. Sante Sana. Yep, go now. Okay, thank you. Go now. Okay, so all of the people, all the human beings, what I'm saying to you, all the people, all the human beings, we all have similar features. We got a head, you got ears, eyes, everything's the same. We're one people, we're unit of people. Okay, so Sheikh was saying that the basic structure of man, there are 4 basic structures. He's talking about the size of the head and the jawbone and all this, and then that eventually evolved into what we have today. All right, so we are a unit. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand, is that no, everybody's the same. We are units in various different geographical locations. Now, the problem we have as brothers and sisters is that unit of black people on the planet, we're not united. Now, we have unity, but we're not united because we don't have a common purpose and intentionality to do some things that we need to do desperately. Now, we are not taking the same action as a people to solve our problems. That's the issue. We're not doing that. So, unlike having unity, which is static, no motion, only potential energy or power, inherent in the state of being united is the act of doing with purpose and intentionality. That's our problem. Again, let me make sure you understand. Unlike having unity, which unity is static, no motion, only potential energy. Remember the example? You got 1 million cars in the parking lot. Cars aren't moving, they're not driving, nobody's doing, but they have the potential to drive. But you got to unite them with the driver. You have to unite them with an additional power source to move the vehicle, to give the vehicle complete its purpose, because it's a car. It's made to move. It's made to transport. But it can't do that unless you have what? A driver. That means you've got to unite 2 power sources. And we all have unity, but we're not united. So inherent in the state of being united is the act of doing, purpose, and intentionality. So what it means to be united is for groups of people, us, to have purpose for all of our actions, and having the intention to take all necessary actions for the group's survival. So, brothers and sisters, we must work at unification. We must work to be united, not just to achieve unity. Okay? All right. So, our purpose, mine, and I think, consider this. Our purpose is to bring an end to all efforts to harm our group, our women and our children, to act in all activities with the purpose to bring security and prosperity to our women and children, to have the daily intentionality to remain united, to achieve complete liberation and autonomy. You understand? And you can't get that if you're just a unit, dormant. Nothing to drive you. No intention, no purpose for your actions. Now that's got to change. So we got to redirect our focus. Unity is there, like I told you. All of us gather in the church. We do that. And when we leave, we were all one unit. This church, that church, don't matter. It's all the same one. And I'm not talking about only Christian, Muslim, all of it. It doesn't matter. When you go there, you're a unit in the building, in the location. Dormant energy, dormant power. Potential power. Then you all leave and you go your way and you go back to living life now. No purpose though. No intentionality. Now the organization that you went to, they had purpose and intentionality. Their purpose was to get you there, to recruit you and get you there. And their intent is to what? Achieve. One of the goals is to maintain the economic conditions necessary to allow them to keep bringing you there. And that's just normal. They have to do that. That's business. You got to pay the rent, the light, the bills, the gas. You got to do that. But the intentionality and purpose for coming together, there is no intentionality and purpose for the improvement and the betterment of our children. So when you take all those resources and you do that, and our children are starving, our children are being violently abused, then we're not united. Not in that sense, not with those institutions. Okay, so let me just recap here. Unity and the state of being united, they're different. They're very, very, very different, and we have to understand that. Unity is the act of individuals or groups of individuals coming together or assembling and becoming a potential power source, but having no real tangible benefit until the power source is tapped by a driver, by another power source, which is becoming united. That power source has to unite with the other unit. Individuals and groups who are united have purposeful action and have the intentionality to take all action necessary to achieve their desired goals. Okay? So, we, brothers and sisters, for the most part, are stuck in the unity stage of development. The great majority of us who are beginning to awake from this miseducation and brainwashing are still focused on unity. Now, this unity, to have it, this is a necessary step, and it cannot and must not be a stopping point. It can't. You get the unity, it can't be a stopping point. it can't even be a point at which we delay for too long. We must become united with and in purpose and intentionality. Now how do we do this? This is the part I talk about where, solutions. And I don't know all the answers. I'm not trying to claim to do that. But what are the solutions needed so that we can overcome the barriers, the obstructions, the preventing, the discouraging, and delaying us from being united? Because these people are doing that. They've erected these things. So let me just give you a couple. And these, again, I'm just thinking, and these could be vetted out. But let me give you an example. So we're going to talk about how to become united. One. And remember, united means taking action, having purpose for your action, with the intentionality to achieve whatever goal you're trying to achieve. And we can do it. So let me make sure. Here's how you become united. One, every conversation, social interaction between adults must include talk about the coming education. And that education I'm talking about is the education of our people to understand their problem, the nature of their problem, and who that problem is with, and what must be done. That is an educational program that has to take place immediately. Immediately. With all our people. Period. All of them. So now, again, first, every conversation, social interaction between the adults, us, must include talk about the coming education. That coming education, I'm going to show you, you're going to do it. All right? 2, daily, 2 times per day, school-age children must be told to prepare for the coming education. So you're just planting in their mind something is coming. What is education? Now you got people talking. Everybody heard the word of mouth, all that. Yeah, but you're planting it. It's like planting a seed. You plant it, it ain't going to grow tomorrow or the next day. But when it comes up, it's coming up strong. And if you nurture it and give it fertilizer and you love it, it's going to grow well. And it's going to come out to be what you want it to be. Self-creating human beings. 3, in each city or town, anywhere and everywhere, anyone and everyone, choose someone to make a 20 to 25 point lesson plan and store soft and hard copies. Okay. Now remember, don't be confused. Don't think if you can't find somebody with a PhD, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree that you don't have. No, that's foolishness. These people who have given us these diplomas and these pieces of paper, I know people who know what's good for us and how to educate our people. They don't do that. They don't know that. No, they just come together and give you information to make you continue to follow what they tell you to do. So you don't have to have no PhD to write a lesson plan for your people. You got to tell your children the truth. The education, some basic education. The technical education you can get from their schools. We all go. We got kids going. But even that we're in control of because we have engineers, scientists, doctors, inventors, too. But again, we've got to educate them, those who are now adults and who have been brainwashed so that they take their talents and skills to others. These children coming up, though, this is what I'm talking about. See, if you educate them right in the schooling that they get at home, when they grow up and they get these degrees and they become these scientists and engineers, they'll understand that their commitment, their purpose and intentionality is with us. So they will be united in purpose and intentionality with each other. Other people in their field have a commitment and obligation to us as people to benefit us as a society. Okay? All right. All right, so yeah, like I said, in each city, that's number 3, town, anyone and everyone, choose someone to make a 20-25 point lesson plan and store soft and hard copies. All right, 4, determine the location of the after W school. In other words, after you go to the W school, your children should come home for the real learning, to the real learning location. And this doesn't have to be indoors. It doesn't have to be. It could be anywhere, under a tree, near a rock, at the ocean. I don't care where it is. You all agree that we're going to meet and get our children and talk to our children about the reality of the world that they're living in. Now, in places like where I'm from, where you have winter, obviously, you're going to have some place to go indoors during that time when it's cold. But you do that. You figure that out. It's not difficult. If it's at somebody's house, somebody who's got a big house, or somebody who's got a garage, or somebody who's got something, a tent, it doesn't matter. Remember, when our people, many of them were enslaved, those people had to teach themselves, and they had to do that in privacy. They had to hide. Just the fact that we had to do that should be telling you that the people that were around, then what kind of people would do that? They're never going to change. So we have to take it upon ourselves to do it in this way. It's not, don't limit yourself in your mind with, well, we don't have a resource, we need a building. No, you don't. You do it wherever you can, because it's the information that's being given to the children, not the building. Remember I told you, the building is a unit. By itself, nothing. You have to unite it with a driver, a person, a group of people with intentionality and purpose to achieve some result, some end. Okay. All right, so 5. Remember I told you 4 was determine the location where you're going to teach the people. 5, commit to teaching the children 3 to 4 times per week. 2 hours per day in the Real Learning School program. Telling the children the truth. Oh, man. This right here, I'll talk to y'all about that. But anyway, that's going to go away pretty quickly. So I'm hoping that you can follow me because I got to finish these points. So apologize for that. So number 6, select 10 people from each area to act as treasurers who can collect donations for funding the school program and to pay for the workers and the supplies. 10 people. People who have a background in that. We all know them. We just got to start talking and having intentionality and purpose for us getting together. Being together. We ain't just getting together to party and have fun. No. Okay, it's number 7. Select 100 people in all the towns wherever you are. And this takes time. Anybody saying it's going to happen overnight? It takes time. But we got time. We ain't got nothing else to do. We're alive. We're going to be here 80, 90 years, hopefully. If we don't keep taking all these people's dangerous drugs and medications, we're going to be here for 80 years. We ain't got nothing else to do but to try to secure the future for your children and your people. So, like I said, select 100 people. This is number 7. Select 100 people. Starting with whoever agrees in the beginning to act as fundraisers, requesting donations from the public to fund the school staff and supplies. And this, don't get caught up. Listen, I know we have regulations and we got to do that, but you have to understand. If you get together and you want to teach your children how to play, you know, football, soccer, baseball, you want to teach them how to sew, knit, nobody's going to come to you and say a word. Now, while you're doing that, you can be teaching your children the messages, the communication, the talking, while they're working on whatever they're doing. If they're drawing some flowers on some paper, the information you're talking to them about, that's the education. They're going to remember it, the children. So now you don't have any regulations you have to deal with. You arts and crafts. Ain't nobody bothering you about that. Do whatever you got to do. And lawyers who are in their right mind and understand what's really happening with this law, then you're supposed to be part of the group who's saying, okay, this is how we can do this and not have any problems. You're supposed to be coming together for your people instead of taking some made-up foolishness that you want to talk about as, well, I got a standard, it's a code, and, you know, in the bar, and I have an obligation and an oath. No, you have an obligation and an oath to protect your children and your women and your society. Me too. All of us, men. So number 7, 100 people. Starting with whoever agrees in the beginning. If they don't agree, move on away from them. Get to somebody else. And if they come talking that foolishness, remember I told you guys in a video, you're going to come to me and tell me before we can organize, we got to figure out what we're going to do about Jesus. No. Not when my children are starving. My children are being killed and murdered. I got to watch that. Then you want to talk to me? No. First is the security. and protection of our women and children. Period. So anyway, yeah, get 100 people. Those people who agree. And those that don't, they come back later. If they're not going to harm us, you go away. Don't bother us. Let us work to solve this problem. So you get 100 people to act as fundraisers. And you go and you ask people, they give $1, they can give a quarter, they can give a nickel, a dime. You go into these places on Sunday, you give them everything you got. And listen, it's a very serious problem that we have to solve. It's the future of our children. I love them when I look at them. And the people too. So anyway, you pay for the staff and supplies out of it. It takes time. You don't need no banks. Don't go getting involved in all that, because then they're going to control you. Number 8, select 10 people from the area to act as the planning committee. To move from, outside facilities into inside facilities. And these are these people who are supposed to be professional. You got all these people running around here talking about they got these degrees and these bachelor's degrees and all this foolishness. But you can't seem to put your mind together to figure out how to get us out of this situation. Lack of courage. You don't want to have that conversation. You don't want to have the conversation. You just want your car, your vacation, while the vast majority of our children are struggling. I spent my whole life trying to do this. My whole life. Many of us out here trying to do it. Greed, self-individualism, you want to get yourself rich. Forget about our children, just you and yours. All of our children, all of the children, they're all of ours. These babies come here. You made them. All right, number 9, select 10 people to recruit the buildings and trades, the IT people, any area necessary to build. Those people who are willing to come together and donate their time. Don't get caught up in this money issue. Let me tell you something. I grew up, I'm 55 years old. And I grew up and I see these people at the church. And I'm not, listen, these are just the facts. And then I see these people at the church. Gardeners, mechanics, plumbers, electricians, bricklayers, painters, coming and donating their time to the church. But you won't donate your time to the children, to make sure that the children have a house, to make sure the children have a house, place to live, place to play in safety. You won't do that. You come and then they see you say you want some money before the preacher, church. You donate it. So what I'm telling you is that it's already happening, but not united. Church is a unit. One church, a unit. And you got 10, 11. Where I'm from, you got 3, 4, 5 of them every, 2, 3 blocks. Okay? Now, I'm not saying don't go. You want to go, that's fine. But each and every one of you have an obligation to protect these children. We brought them here. We were children at one point. And we came up in this. And you want to doom your children to the same struggling and survival and hard life that these people have put in this system? I don't. So, like I said, you know, I think I made a miss number 8. You know, I did. It's the one, number 8 was where you got to get the people and find out who can plan so you can move from outdoor facilities into indoor facilities. Number 9 was select 10 people to recruit buildings and trade workers, IT, all the people necessary, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, roofers, whatever. All the people necessary to begin to build. Not only just the school, but the neighborhoods, the houses, to improve the situation we have. And this ain't about no money now. It's so that when we wake up and walk around every day, we can do that and see the beauty of our lives, so we can have enrichment in our lives. And for our children, they deserve it. Now, number 10, select 10 to 25 writers and artists to begin to develop the Real Learning School program, the books. And again, don't sit back and wait for some board assembled by some people who don't look like you, don't care about you, and then to tell you that you don't know what you're doing. They know what they're doing. So follow them. Don't do that. Don't do that. And you don't have to have, just because you don't have a degree, don't feel bad. Don't think you don't know. You know. Remember our grandmothers, grandfathers, great-grandmothers, and great-grandfathers? Bright, strong, intelligent people. They didn't need somebody coming to them telling them, here's this piece of paper, so now you qualified to go out and do. And they brought us here. We survived and prospered and went through all this foolishness we had to go through with these people. Do you understand what I'm telling you? All right. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Now, I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna stop saying it going forward. I just want you guys to understand, for those of you who are getting to know me and I'm getting to know you. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I don't. None of us know exactly, but we have a common problem. And we are a unit already. It's just a unit of black people. All the black people know we got a problem with this society that we live in. And W's, everybody knows that. That's not, I ain't saying nothing new. The thing is, we're not united. And united means, again, moving, action with purpose and intentionality. And those people telling you, oh, you ain't never gonna unify, you know, unity, you be united, ain't it? Everybody can't be united. They're trying to take away your confidence so that you won't even try. So let me make sure you understand. Since 1945, remember? World War II and all that, you remember that? The country with the dominant position in the world, you know them. What do they call themselves? United States. So what are you saying? You think they're the only people that can unite? Is that what you're saying? Do you believe that? United Kingdom. Do you understand? And these were the leaders for many, many years. Because what? They acted with purpose. Intentionality. They already had the group, the unit. They had unity. They all sitting in the same spot. Unity is natural. A forest, unity. An ocean, unity. But until there's some force united with the unit, then it's just dormant potential power. And that's where they keep us stuck. That's why they let you talk. And that's why I told you, for me, I'm always concerned when I go out and I talk about what is doing something. Let's do something. Now, let's not sit back. I don't even like going to parties, folks. I don't like going to no party, sitting up talking about nothing all day, laughing and joking, sitting back, looking and listening to music, just bobbing it. No! I'm trying to work every day to make sure my children don't have to live the way I live. So, okay, we had some solutions there. I told you they're coming. I hope you guys understand. And I'm sorry to... No, I'm not. I'm really sorry that we're in this position that we're in. We got to do what's necessary to get out of it. So I love you all. I hope that something I've said, like I told you, helps you in some way. And listen, I don't know if you guys get to the end of the videos. So wait. But if you do, remember, I need you to like and subscribe and tell a friend. I didn't realize how important that was, but it's pretty important. And we have to come together. We have to come together united. Okay? I love you guys all. Uhuru. Uhuru. Uhuru.